The mother complex, breaking free from the invisible bonds within us. What if I told you that the person you believe you need to forgive is not an external figure at all, but an image living deep within your own subconscious? What if healing is not about changing your current relationship with your mother, but about transforming your relationship with the mother image in your mind? In this text, we will deeply explore an uncomfortable yet liberating truth that many people avoid confronting: the lasting and deeply rooted influence of the mother archetype on your emotional development, sense of self, and ability to live freely. Inspired by the work of Carl Gustav Jung, this journey will not be a comfortable one, but until you confront this fundamental part of yourself, true healing, breaking cycles, and existing as a whole human being is almost impossible. Section 1. What is the mother complex and why is it so important? The anatomy of the complex. Carl Gustav Jung introduced the term mother complex to describe one of the most important concepts he contributed to modern psychology: the deep and intricate subconscious patterns we form around the mother figure in childhood. These patterns are not merely childhood memories or simple emotional traces. They are powerful psychological structures that continue to shape our reactions, expectations, and emotional behavior long after we become adults, perhaps after we marry, have children, and build our careers. There is a critical point that must be clarified from the very beginning. The mother complex is not about blaming, vilifying, or opposing your mother. This concept is about seeing and understanding the role she played in your life and how the psychological imprints she created continued to live on within your inner world, within your own psyche. Think about it. Your mother may be physically present right now, thousands of kilometers away, or perhaps no longer alive, but her voice, her gaze, her value judgments, her emotional reactions still live inside you. The tone she used when criticizing you, the way she comforted you, the sentences she formed when expressing her expectations, all of these have become part of your psyche. Manifestations of the complex in daily life. How do these imprints appear in your life? Perhaps you have noticed in emotional reactions when you receive even the slightest criticism. You become far more triggered than the situation warrants. When your boss gives a small piece of feedback in a meeting, your entire being is shaken. You feel worthless, inadequate, ashamed. Even if your rational mind tells you, this is just work-related, it's not personal. Your emotional response does not listen, because in that moment, you are not confronting your boss, you are confronting the inner mother figure who could never tolerate your flaws, who never found you good enough. In relationship patterns. When you look at your romantic relationships, you notice a striking similarity. Are you always drawn to the same type of people? Emotionally distant, critical, people who promise to save you but are never fully present, or the opposite, people who completely engulf you, ignore your boundaries, and constantly expect sacrifice from you? This is no coincidence. Your subconscious is trying to recreate dynamics that are compatible with your mother complex. In self-worth and achievement. Perhaps from the outside you appear successful. You have a good job, a nice home, a loving family. Yet inside, you constantly feel a sense of lack. No matter how successful you are, it is never enough. You immediately minimize every achievement, attributing it to luck or other people's help. You seek your worth not within yourself, but constantly in the approval and validation of others. This too is a reflection of the mother complex. If you learned love and acceptance as conditional in childhood, you continue to see your worth as conditional in adulthood. In difficulties with setting boundaries. Saying no is almost impossible for you. When someone asks for something, your own needs, time, and energy seem irrelevant, and you immediately agree. Later, resentment and anger build up inside you, but you suppress those feelings as well, because expressing your needs and setting boundaries triggers deep guilt. You think, how selfish I am. This is a learned childhood pattern. Perhaps your mother consistently prioritized her needs over yours, and when you expressed your own needs, you were accused of being ungrateful. Why? You were dealing not with your mother, but with the image inside you. Here is where Jung's concept points to an extremely important distinction. You are not actually fighting your mother. Your real mother, no matter how difficult, was ultimately a human being with her own wounds, traumas, and limitations. But as a child, you did not see her that way. For a child, the mother is a divine figure, all-knowing, all-powerful, the center of life. And this mother figure is etched into your psyche, not with her real human traits, but with the meanings you attributed to her and the emotional imprints created by your experiences with her. Now you are an adult. Perhaps your relationship with your mother has improved. Perhaps you went to therapy. Perhaps she apologized. But you are still living with the same old patterns, the same emotional reactions. Because what needs to change is not the external mother, but the internal mother image. This image is a voice, a program inherited by you, still whispering among your fears, habits, and most vulnerable moments. And this awareness, naming this invisible enemy, recognizing it, separating yourself from it, and perhaps the most important step on the path to liberation. Section 2. The archetype, a universal force beyond the individual. The nature of archetypes, however, merely accepting this truth is not enough. we must examine more closely the deep psychological mechanism driving this dynamic, the archetype itself. In Jungian psychology, archetypes are not individual people. Archetypes are universal patterns of experience and emotion that have existed across all cultures and throughout all of human history. They are the fundamental building blocks of the collective unconscious. According to Jung, every human psyche contains these archetypal structures, and they deeply influence our experiences, emotions, and behaviors. The mother archetype is one of the most powerful, fundamental, and universal of them all. Think about it. Everywhere in the world, in every era of history, the mother-child relationship lies at the center of the human experience. This relationship is not only biological, but psychological and spiritual. That is why the mother figure occupies a special place in the psyche. The two-faced mother, nurturing and destructive at its best and most ideal. What does the mother archetype represent? Nourishment, unconditional love, safety, origin, belonging, warmth, acceptance. When a baby is born, it is completely vulnerable and helpless. Its survival, growth, and development depend entirely on the care, attention, and love provided by the mother figure. For this reason, the mother is embedded in the psyche as the source of life. However, and this is where Jung's depth emerges, every archetype has two faces. Just as goddesses in mythology are both creative and destructive, the mother archetype can be both nurturing and annihilating. When left unintegrated or distorted by traumatic experiences, the mother archetype can transform into an invisible prison, manifesting as control, fear of abandonment, suffocating dependency, and emotional manipulation. Manifestations of the destructive mother complex. 1. The critical, never satisfied mother. This inner voice constantly criticizes you. No matter what you do, it is never enough. When you get a high score on an exam, it says, why not a perfect score? When you get promoted at work, it says, others are advancing faster. When you are in a happy relationship, it says, but it's not perfect. This voice never rests, never feels satisfied, and you become someone constantly at war with yourself, unable to enjoy any achievement. 2. The victim mother, the producer of guilt. I gave up everything for you. I devoted my life to you, and this is what you do to me. Does this echo sound familiar? This inner mother figure constantly demands sacrifice from you. Your happiness, dreams, and needs are coded as selfishness. When you do something for yourself, you feel deep guilt, because being a good child means giving up your own self, your own life. Point 3. The controlling, overprotective mother. I'm saying this for your own good. The world is dangerous. People are bad. You don't know what might happen to you. This inner voice constantly frightens you. It makes you avoid new experiences, taking risks, stepping into the unknown. Every new relationship is a potential disappointment. Every new job, a potential failure. Every new city, a potential danger. And you remain trapped in a safe but narrow, familiar but suffocating space. For the neglectful, emotionally distant mother, perhaps the mother voice inside you does not constantly criticize. Perhaps it does not speak at all. Perhaps it is completely indifferent to your emotional needs. When you cry, it says, don't cry, be strong. When you are happy, it says, don't get too excited, you'll be disappointed. When you are in pain, it says, you'll grow up, you'll get used to it. And over time, you learn to shut down your emotions, to not feel, to claim you do not need anything, until one day you become emotionally numb, disconnected from yourself, functioning like a robot, the archetype's reflection in relationships. And now we come to the most tragic part. You unconsciously carry this archetype, this internalized mother image, into your adult relationships, especially romantic ones. How? You expect your partner to save you. You expect them to parent you, to give you the care, attention, and unconditional love you cannot even give yourself. Your subconscious says, what I didn't get from my mother, this person will give me, this person will complete me, this person will heal me. But of course, no partner, no human being can heal your childhood wounds. No one can fill that void, because that void is within you, in your own psyche, and only you can fill it. So what happens when your partner inevitably fails to meet this invisible, heavy, impossible standard? As no one can, you relive the same emotions again and again, feeling abandoned, disappointed, worthless, unlovable, just like in childhood. But it is not truly them abandoning you. The real issue is that you are projecting unmet childhood needs of the archetype onto them, loading them with an impossible burden. Example, scenarios. In scenario uno, constant need for validation. Even when your partner says I love you, it does not feel like enough. You constantly ask, do you really love me? You analyze every small behavior through the lens of, will they leave me? When they do not reply to a message immediately, you panic, because the conditional love model you internalized from your mother is active. Love can be lost at any moment and must constantly be proven. Scenario 2. Choosing emotionally distant partners. You are repeatedly drawn to emotionally distant, unavailable people who never fully open up to you. Why? Because this feels familiar. Your mother was like this too, and your subconscious finds familiar pain safer than unfamiliar happiness. Also, trying to win over an emotionally distant person gives you a mission. If I can change them, if I can make them love me, then I will have proven my worth. Scenario 3. Excessive sacrifice and loss of boundaries. You are always the one giving in the relationship. Your partner's needs always come before yours. You give up your dreams, friends, hobbies, because the voice inside says, this is what being a good partner means. Your mother was like this too. She constantly sacrificed herself for others and expected the same from you. Now you dissolve in your relationship, and one day you wake up asking, who am I? Section 3. Invisible. Loyalty pain, passed down through generations. Hellinger and Family Systems Theory, the family constellation. Approach developed by the renowned German family therapist Bert Hellinger revealed one of the most insidious and least understood forms of psychological bonds, invisible loyalty. According to family systems contain invisible yet extremely powerful loyalty bonds. Children feel a deep attachment to their parents. This attachment stems not only from love, but also from the need to belong, to remain part of the system, to avoid exclusion, and this loyalty can be so deep that a child subconsciously decides, if my mother is unhappy, I cannot be happy. If my mother suffered, I must suffer too, because being happy would mean abandoning her. This is an extremely disturbing concept, because it tells us that what blocks your happiness is not only your past, but your subconscious loyalty to your past. Manifestations of invisible loyalty. 1. My mother never had this. How can I? Syndrome. Perhaps your mother never went to university. She devoted her life to housework and raising children. Perhaps she could not pursue the career she dreamed of, her artistic passions, or see the world. Now you are accepted into university, have a successful career, travel the world. Yet instead of celebrating these achievements, you feel deep guilt. My mother never got to experience these things. How can I be this lucky? Do I deserve this? And your subconscious offers a solution. Self-sabotage. Fail. That way you become equal to her, and you do not abandon her. 2. Repetition of intergenerational pain. Perhaps your mother was depressed. Perhaps she had alcohol problems. Perhaps she was in an abusive relationship, and as a child, you witnessed her suffering, tried to save her, but failed. Now you are an adult and strangely find yourself in similar situations. You experience depressive states, or you enter problematic relationships, or you turn to substance use. Why? Because your subconscious thinks, if I suffer her pain too, I will understand her. She will not be alone, and maybe, just maybe, this way I can be closer to her. This unconscious identification feels like love, solidarity, loyalty, but in reality, it is psychological stagnation, an emotional prison. 3. If I am happy, I will forget her fear. Perhaps your mother has passed away, and you are still carrying your grief. Or perhaps she is alive, but you have distanced yourself or cut off contact. And now being happy feels like forgetting her, betraying her. So your subconscious constantly pulls you back. Just when you begin to feel happy, something goes wrong. When you enter a healthy relationship, you somehow sabotage it. When you complete a successful project, you immediately focus on the next crisis. Because happiness triggers guilt. And to avoid guilt, you choose unhappiness. The cost of loyalty. What is the cost of invisible loyalty? Giving up your own life, giving up your potential, your happiness, your freedom. And here is the most painful truth. This sacrifice gives your mother nothing. Your unhappiness does not make her happy. Your failure does not bring her success. Your suffering does not ease her pain. In fact, you're living your full potential. You're healing. Your happiness may be the greatest gift you can give her. Because you show her this, the cycle can be broken. Pain does not have to be passed down through generations. I can live the life you could not live. And this is not rejecting you, it is honoring you. Section 4. Reparenting yourself. The heart of healing. What is inner parenting? Perhaps everything you have read so far makes you feel hopeless. You may be thinking, this voice inside me, this archetype, this invisible loyalty, how can I ever be free of them? This is where one of the most powerful concepts in Jungian and modern psychotherapy comes into play. Reparenting yourself. What does this mean? It means this: you can now give the wounded, neglected, criticized, conditionally loved child inside you the inner child the parenting they needed. You can now give yourself the care, attention, compassion, acceptance, and unconditional love you did not receive from the outside, from the past, from your mother. This is not just a metaphor. Neuroscience research shows that how you treat yourself as an adult, how you speak to yourself, can change your brain structure and neural pathways. Thanks to neuroplasticity, old unhelpful patterns can be replaced with new, healthy ones. Principles of inner parenting. 1. Listening and validation. The first step of inner parenting is listening to and validating your own emotions. Most of us learn to suppress our feelings, to ignore them, to dismiss them in the name of being rational. An example: your boss criticizes you at work and you feel deep shame and inadequacy inside. What is your traditional reaction? You say to yourself, don't be ridiculous. Stop being so sensitive. It's just work. It's not personal. Get yourself together. What does this do? It suppresses and invalidates your emotions, and those emotions get buried deeper, only to resurface later in unexpected ways. Inner parenting looks like this instead. I feel really bad right now. This criticism deeply shook me, and that makes sense. Because as a child, criticism meant I was unsafe and unlovable. Old wounds have been reopened, and this hurts. I am allowing myself to feel these emotions. Do you see the difference? The first response blames and rejects the emotion. The second accepts it, seeks to understand it, and meets it with compassion. 2. Recognizing and meeting needs. Most of us do not even know how to recognize our own needs, because, as children, our needs were constantly pushed into the background or not seen at all. Over time, we learned to tell ourselves, I don't need anything, I'm strong, I can handle a lot. Inner parenting is learning to ask yourself, what do I truly need right now? Maybe the answer is rest, being alone, a hug, crying, talking, silence, playing, being in nature, creating something. And then here is the critical step, meeting that need for yourself, without needing someone else's permission, approval, or help. If you are tired, the permission to rest comes from you. If you need to be alone, the power to say no is within you. If you want to cry, you no longer see it as weakness, but as emotional release, and you allow yourself to do it. Point 3. Setting and protecting boundaries. A good parent does not only nourish their child, but also protects them from harmful situations, toxic relationships, and mistreatment. Inner parenting requires this as well. This means learning to say no, ending relationships that make you feel worthless, cutting ties with people who do not respect you, removing yourself from environments that constantly criticize, belittle, or manipulate you. Example, every time your mother calls you, you feel bad. Every conversation is filled with criticism, blame, and passive-aggressive remarks. In the past, you answered the phone because that's what you're supposed to do. Now inner parenting steps in and you say, these conversations are not good for me. I need to protect my own emotional health. I can limit the frequency and duration of these conversations. This is not selfishness. This is self-care. For reframing and compassionate inner dialogue, we all have an inner voice. This voice is often the voice of the critical mother, father. It uses words like incompetent, stupid, a failure, worthless. This voice is so authoritative, so convincing, that we believe it is the truth. Inner parenting is replacing this voice with a new one, compassionate and supportive. Example, comparison, critical inner voice. You failed again. You can't do anything right. You're a complete disappointment. Compassionate inner voice. Things didn't go as you planned this time, and that's disappointing. That's normal. Failure is part of being human. What can I learn from this experience? What can I do differently next time? And right now, I choose to be kind to myself, because I deserve it. This transformation does not happen overnight. If you have lived with the critical voice for years, developing the compassionate one takes time and practice. But every time you make a conscious choice, you strengthen new neural pathways in your brain. Point 5. Celebration and appreciation. A good parent celebrates their child's achievements, growth, and effort. Do you do this for yourself? Most of us are programmed to minimize our successes, to explain them away as luck or other people's help. Because, as children, our achievements were either ignored or met with, you could have done better. Inner parenting is recognizing and celebrating your own achievements, small or big. Here are examples. You had a very hard day, but still got out of bed. Took a shower and went to work. Acknowledge it. Today was really hard, but I kept going. That shows strength. You apologize to someone. Admitting a mistake and apologizing takes courage. I did that, and I'm proud of myself. You succeeded in a project. This success is the result of my hard work, abilities, and determination. I deserve this, and I deserve to celebrate it. The challenges of inner parenting. This all sounds beautiful, but in practice, it is a challenging process. Because, 1, it feels unfamiliar. Treating yourself with compassion may feel artificial, fake, or even uncomfortable at first. Because it's new to you, no one showed or taught you this before. Your brain perceives what is familiar, criticism and harshness, as more real. But with time and practice, this new approach becomes natural. 2. It can trigger guilt, especially when you consider invisible loyalty. Treating yourself well can feel like selfishness. You might think, my mother never did this, how can I? Remember this. Treating yourself well does not mean treating someone else badly. This is not a zero-sum game. 3. It requires consistency. Being compassionate to yourself once and then returning to old patterns is not enough. This is a lifestyle change. It requires making conscious choices every day, in every difficult situation. Section 5. Breaking the pattern. The practice of freedom. The true meaning of breaking the pattern. What does breaking the pattern mean? Many people understand it as cutting ties with the mother, rejecting her, or taking revenge. But true pattern breaking is very different and much deeper. Breaking the pattern does not mean erasing or denying your past. Your past is a part of you, and always will be. Breaking the pattern means consciously choosing not to let the past define your future, your identity, and your choices anymore. This means 1. Stepping out of the victim identity. You may have seen yourself for years as wounded, victimized, broken, and this identity provides comfort because it explains failures. Of course, I failed. I'm traumatized. Allows avoidance of responsibility. This isn't my fault. My childhood was like this. Gathers sympathy. People understand you and feel sorry for you. But this identity is also a prison, because as long as you are a victim, you are powerless. Life happens to you. You are not creating your life. Breaking the pattern means saying, yes, I had a difficult childhood. Yes, I was wounded, but I am no longer that wounded child. I am an adult with power and choice, and I take responsibility for my life. 2. Waking up from the one day myth. Many people carry this belief in their subconscious. One day my mother will change. One day she will apologize, understand me, love me as I am, and then I will heal. This waiting can last for years, even decades. And during that time, your life is on hold. You cannot be happy because you're not healed yet. Your relationships don't fully work because there's this unresolved issue. You can't fulfill your potential because you need to deal with the past. First, breaking the pattern is recognizing this myth, this big lie. Healing does not require someone else to change or give you something. Healing is a choice you make within yourself. Even if your mother never apologizes, never understands you, you can still heal, because healing comes from within, not from outside. 3. From conditional love to unconditional self-love. In childhood, love was conditional. If you behave, if you succeed, if you meet my expectations, I love you. And this model follows you into adulthood. You constantly try to prove your worth externally. Breaking the pattern means learning to give yourself unconditional love. I am worthy because I exist. I don't have to be successful. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be liked by everyone. I am enough as I am. As cliché as this may sound, in practice it is a deeply revolutionary stance, because from this point on, your entire life changes. You stop constantly trying to prove yourself. You can live without others' approval. Rejection no longer feels like personal destruction, but a natural part of life. The daily practice of breaking the patterns. So what does all this look like in daily life? Breaking the pattern is not one dramatic moment. It is thousands of small, conscious, courage-requiring choices. Micro moment 1. Noticing the automatic yes. A friend asks you for a favor. You are about to automatically say yes, but you pause. Do I really want to do this? Do I have the time and energy? Or am I agreeing just because I'm afraid to say no? This moment of awareness is the beginning of breaking the pattern. Because you are no longer on autopilot, you are making a conscious choice. Micro moment 2. Catching the inner critic. You make a mistake, and the voice starts immediately. Again, you're really stupid. You can't do anything right. The old you would accept this voice as truth. Now you pause and say, stop, this is not my voice. This is the internalized critical mother's voice, and I don't have to believe it anymore. Then you consciously say to yourself, I made a mistake. That means I'm human. I learn from it and move on. Micro moment 3. Experiencing happiness without guilt. You're having a beautiful moment, a sunny morning, coffee with someone you love, success at work, and suddenly tension and guilt appear. This is too good. But my mother never had moments like this. Do I deserve this? The old you would listen to this feeling and ruin the moment. Now you recognize it, the voice of invisible loyalty, and you consciously say, my happiness is not disrespect toward my mother's unhappiness. My happiness is actually the greatest gift to her, because it shows the cycle can be broken. And right now, I choose to fully experience this happiness without guilt. Micro moment 4. Setting boundaries in relationships. Your partner criticizes you and you feel that familiar feeling, worthlessness, shame, the urge to prove yourself. The old you would apologize. Explain yourself. Try harder. Now you pause and notice, is this criticism actually valid, or am I overreacting? Is this triggering my mother complex? If it's unfair, you set a boundary. The way you're speaking to me makes me uncomfortable. Please express your thoughts more respectfully. And if your partner cannot do this, you have the courage to reevaluate the relationship. Because now you know, tolerating mistreatment doesn't make you loyal. It only makes you unhappy. Micro moment 5. Owning your success. You achieve something and someone congratulates you. The old you would minimize it. Oh, it's nothing. I was just lucky. It was a team effort. Now you pause and think, why am I minimizing my success? This is the reflection of the you're never good enough voice inside me. And you consciously say, thank you. Yes, I worked hard for this and I succeeded. I'm proud of it. Falling and getting back up again. One crucial truth must be emphasized. Breaking the pattern is not a linear process. It moves 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes you will find yourself right in the middle of old patterns. You have the same fight with your partner again. You speak harshly to yourself again. You sabotage another opportunity, and you feel disappointment and hopelessness. Nothing is changing. I'm still the same person. This is where inner parenting steps in. You say to yourself, I fell back into an old pattern. This is normal. This is how change works. What matters is not identifying with the old pattern again, but noticing it, learning, and choosing again. Each time you get back up, you are stronger. Because you prove this to yourself, old patterns no longer define you. You are no longer identified with them. You are the one who observes them, who chooses them or not. Section 6. Transformation in relationships from projection to real. Connection. Stopping archetypal projections. When you heal the mother complex, your relationships change dramatically, because you no longer project your childhood needs onto your partner, friends, or colleagues. Before, you expected your partner to save you. You entered relationships with the fantasy, this person will complete me. You constantly sought approval, reassurance, proof. You turned small issues into big dramas. You took responsibility for your partner's emotions, or expected them to take responsibility for yours. Now, you can see your partner with their flaws, limits. In humanity, you enter relationships as a whole. Complete person. You can regulate your own emotions. You can set healthy boundaries instead of completing each other. You support each other. Does this mean relationships become perfect? No, but they become far more real, honest, and fulfilling. Because now, two equal adults are together, not a parent and a child. Healthy attachment. Attachment theory shows us that the attachment style formed in childhood deeply affects adult relationships. Insecure attachment styles, anxious attachment, constant fear of abandonment. You test your partner's love, seek excessive reassurance, invest excessively in the relationship. Avoidant attachment. You avoid closeness and vulnerability. You create emotional distance. You appear independent, but inside there is deep loneliness. Disorganized attachment. You want closeness and fear it at the same time. Relationships feel chaotic because intimacy is both desired and terrifying. Healing is a movement from insecure attachment towards secure attachment. You allow closeness without losing yourself. You can ask for support without placing all responsibility on your partner in conflict. Instead of this relationship is over, you say we can work through this. You can be yourself without wearing a mask to be accepted. Breaking the intergenerational chain. If you have children or plan to have them, this may be the most important dimension of breaking the pattern, not passing it on to the next generation. Research shows that unresolved trauma is passed from parents to children. Intergenerational trauma transmission. But this is not fate. The cycle can be broken. 1. By facing your own wounds, recognizing which reactions to your child are truly about them and which are reflections of your own childhood. For example, if you get angry when your child cries, it may reflect that you were not allowed to cry as a child. 2. Teaching emotional literacy. Teach your child to name, express, and regulate emotions. Saying you feel sad and that's normal. Being sad doesn't make you a bad person. Teaches emotional acceptance. 3. Giving unconditional love. Let your child feel that their worth is not dependent on performance or behavior. I love you because you are you. What you do is not as important as who you are. For admitting your own mistakes, there is no perfect parent. Apologizing to your child teaches them that adults make mistakes too, and that this is normal. Apologizing is not weakness. It is strength. 5. Respecting boundaries and autonomy. Your child is not your copy or the fulfillment of your unfulfilled dreams. They are a separate individual. Respect their interests, pace, and personality. When you do all this, you give your child the greatest gift: secure attachment, a healthy sense of self, and inner peace. And when that child becomes an adult, they won't have to struggle with the same patterns, complexes, and loyalties. The cycle is broken. Section 7. Spiritual maturity. Leaving childhood behind. What is emotional adulthood? What Jung called the process of individuation is essentially spiritual maturity, stepping out of collective psychology, parental shadows, and social expectations to find your authentic self. Emotional adulthood means 1. Taking responsibility for your own emotions. Instead of "you made me angry," saying "what you did triggered me, and I feel angry." The difference is subtle but crucial. 2. Not trying to rescue others' emotions. Your mother, partner, or friend is unhappy. The old you rushed in to fix it. The adult you understands. Everyone has their own emotional journey. You can support them, but you cannot feel or heal for them. 3. Tolerating paradox and uncertainty. Children think in black and white. Adults can tolerate complexity. I love my mother, and I'm angry about what she did to me. Both can exist. For delayed gratification. Children want immediate results. Adults can tolerate slow processes. Healing takes time. You trust the process and continue. Going beyond the ego. Jung said the ego is only a small part of the psyche. True maturity comes from connecting with the self beyond ego. Practically, this means letting go of control, surrendering to life's flow, listening to dreams and intuition. Shadow work, integrating rejected parts of yourself from forgiveness to freedom. Many approaches say you must forgive. For some, this is helpful. For others, it becomes another burden. From a Jungian perspective, the goal is not forgiveness, it is freedom. Some things may be unforgivable, and that is okay. Hatred also binds you. Freedom means, this person harmed me. That is real, and they no longer have power over me. Section 8. Practical tools and exercises. Inner child meditation. Find a quiet place. Close your eyes. Breathe. Imagine yourself at age 5 to 7. Where are you? What do you feel? As your adult self, approach that child. Hold them. Speak the words you never heard. I see you. You are not alone. Everything you feel is valid. You are valuable. This was not your fault. I will take care of you now. Listen, then gently return. Journaling. Triggered moments. Unsent letter to your mother. Self-kindness. Journal. Therapeutic approaches. Jungian analysis, psychoanalytic psychotherapy, schema therapy, EMDR, attachment-based therapy, family constellation therapy is not weakness, it is investment. Somatic work. Trauma lives in the body. Breathwork, yoga, and movement. Safe touch therapy. Section 9. The dark night and rebirth. Healing may bring a dark night phase. Old identities dissolve before new ones form. This is painful and necessary. Accept, slow down, allow symbolic death, make space for rebirth. Integration means embracing both light and shadow, in yourself and in your mother. Section 10. Conclusion. From pattern to freedom. Freedom is not outside. It is inside. You are no longer a prisoner of your past. You are not approval dependent. You are not ruled by fear. You can form healthy relationships. You are not afraid of your potential. Healing has no final destination. It is a process. You are already enough. Healing is not to make you enough. It is to help you see that you always were. The cycle ends with you. I am ending the pattern. This is not just a sentence. It is intention, decision, commitment. And when you truly feel it, the journey has already begun. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because what you gain is your life. Your real, free, whole life. And that is worth everything.